last meeting, we're able to discuss the properties of the DC machines, no, or the DC motors. So we're able to identify the applications, okay, and then the advantages, okay, so in using the different types of DC motors. So for today's discussion, so we'll be discussing some practical examples that involves the DC motors. So the coverage of the discussion would be the computations based on the um, currents, voltages, the efficiency calculation, and then later on we'll try to discuss also the one of the problem that is encountered in starting a DC motor, so which is the high starting current. Okay, so the last topic would involve or will involve uh, some ways, no, or a method in which we can reduce the starting current case of the DC motor. Okay, so depending on the connection, okay, so depending on the connection of the DC machine, okay, so or the DC motor to be specific, okay, so we have here the shunt motor, okay, so that is when the field winding, no, so the field winding is connected in parallel, okay, so to the armature, okay, so that is why we have there the term shunt motor. Okay, so basically the name, okay, or the type of the DC motor is uh, identified, no, so identified based on uh, the method in which the winding, no, or the field winding is being connected with respect to the armature. So the first part case of the discussion would be uh, the field winding, which is connected to the armature, okay, so of the DC machine, and we call this configuration as shunt motor. Okay, so for a given shunt motor, okay, so for a given shunt motor, so the input, no, so this would be the input. So as you can see, so the input is electrical. Okay, so the machine is given with the line voltage, no, so or supply voltage denoted by VL. Okay, so the motor, okay, so the motor draws, no, the line current, okay, so denoted by IL. So IL is basically the current drawn by the motor from the supply. Okay, then the line current, no, so will be split up into two. Okay, so one part will flow in the armature. Okay, so we term that one as IA. Okay, so this one, so we call this one as the armature current. And then the second part of IL, okay, so will flow through the field winding. So we term this one as the field winding current. Okay, so denoted by IF. Okay, so if we try to, or if you try to recall in your electrical circuits, okay, so if we take KCL, okay, so in this node, okay, so if we take KCL, okay, so we then have the expression IL is basically equivalent to the armature current IA plus the field current IF. So of course IL is greater than IA, and of course it is greater than IF. Okay, so now if you remember in our previous discussion, Okay, so it is the current IF. Okay, so it is the function of the current IF, this one, no? So it's the function of the current IF, so to produce, no? So magnetic flux, okay, or magnetism, okay? So in the field winding, that is, if there's no current IF flowing through the field winding, then the magnetism formed in the field winding would be uh, almost zero. Okay, so why almost zero? So there is still, no, so the presence of the what we so called residual, no, so residual magnetism, so that is left, no, so in the field winding, so even if the field current is zero. So but then again, so the residual magnetism is nearly equal to zero. Okay, so let's put it this way, that the current responsible for the building up of the magnetism, no, so denoted by term flux. Okay, so the current responsible for the building up of the flux is the current IF for the shunt motor. Okay, so now the function, okay, so current IA, so this current here, okay, so this is the current that is being pulled by the motor depending on the amount of mechanical load, okay, so being attached, no, so to the shaft of the motor. That means the heavier the mechanical load, no, attached to the shunt motor, so the larger the current IA. Okay, so uh, in return, so the heavier the load, so the larger the current IL. Okay, so because IL is a function of IA and IF. Now, if you can see, okay, so if RF is fixed, no, so try to take a look at the circuit. Okay, so the field winding here is connected in parallel, no, so with respect to the armature. Okay, so and then the combination is connected across the source, no. So meaning to say, so the voltage across the armature, okay, so is equivalent to the voltage across the field winding. Okay, so meaning to say, if we let RF to be constant, okay, so meaning to say, if we let this to be constant in value, then whatever, no, so whatever load the motor will take, so it will, or the current IF will remain constant. Okay, assuming there is a constant terminal voltage at the source. Okay, so what does that mean? So that means that from our previous discussion, okay, so remember, so it is stated there that the flux, no, or the magnetism, okay, in the shunt motor is constant. Okay, so meaning to say, since the only way we can vary, no, so the only way we can vary the magnetism in the shunt motor is to vary the current IF. Okay, so and then the only way to vary the current IF is to change, no, so the, or to alter the value of RF, or the field resistance. And therefore, so if RF is held constant, then the current IF is constant, and also the magnetism formed in the field winding of a shunt motor is also constant. Okay, so now uh, if you remember, okay, so the function, no, so the function of the torque, okay, so this would be the torque developed, no, okay, so this would be the torque developed in a given shunt motor is a function of the um, armature current. Okay, so that would be constant K, and then that would be flux multiplied by IA. Okay, so now if we let, no, so let's say uh, we assume, no, so let's say we assume flux to be constant. Okay, so that is why we can come up with torque that is equivalent to K prime multiplied by IA. So wherein K prime is the product of the constant, the motor constant K, and then the flux. Okay, so as you can see, no, so the torque of the shunt motor is proportional to the armature current. So the bigger the torque, that means the bigger the current drawn by the motor. Okay, so we'll put it this way. Okay, so let's just have the, okay, so the format, torque is equivalent to the for a shunt motor, torque is a function of the magnetism, okay, multiplied by the current IA. However, if we let, okay, so if uh, it is not stated, no, so that the flux or the magnetism is changed, then therefore it is assumed constant, no, so it will boil down to the equation T is equal to K prime multiplied by IA. So K and K prime are what we so called as motor constants. Okay, so now we have also the what we so called variable EB. Okay, so now EB in a DC motor is termed as back EMF, or we term this one as counter EMF. Okay, so this is synonymous to the term in the DC generator, the EG, no, so or the generated, okay, so generated EMF. Okay, so now the concept, okay, so the concept of the back EMF or the counter EMF is that uh, when the motor, no, so when the motor starts to rotate, okay, so if the motor now will rotate, then it will develop, no, so it will develop its own generated EMF in the armature. Okay, so however, we cannot, or to distinguish between the generated EMF of the generator and then the generated EMF also of the motor. So we term the generated EMF in the motor as back EMF, okay, or counter EMF, whereas in the generator, it will be termed as generated EMF. Okay, so now EMF stands for electromotive force, or basically the electrical pressure, no? So or basically the voltage. Okay, so now what will happen is that since the armature, no, so the armature of the shunt motor is made up of uh, armature conductors, and then you have there the flux. So according to Michael Faraday, okay, so if you remember, so according to Michael Faraday, that if these conductors will cut, no, so magnetism, so these conductors will generate voltage. So even though it is a motor, okay, so but then since it cuts magnetic flux, no, or magnetism, then it generates, or these conductors in the armature will generate still they generate voltage. No? So we term that one as the back EMF. So the back EMF of the DC machine is equivalent to, no? So it is a function of, okay, so this is a function of the flux and then the speed, no, so of the machine. Okay, so okay, so the generated EMF or the back EMF, no, so of the DC machine, okay, so is equivalent to the product of the motor constant multiplied by the magnetism and then the speed in RPM. Okay, so again, no, so do not forget that N here stands for the speed in revolutions per minute. Okay, so we have here, no, so the two basic relation is, or the two um, parameters, okay, so of the shunt motor. So the torque is dependent on the armature current. Okay, so directly proportional, and then the generated EMF or the back EMF or counter EMF of the DC machine or the DC shunt motor is equivalent to the motor constant multiplied by the magnetism and then of course the speed in RPM. Okay, so again, if we denote flux not to be constant, then this equation will go to EB, so that is equivalent to K prime multiplied by, okay, so this would be multiplied by N. Okay, so why? Because again, K here is a constant multiplied by another constant, so we denote that one K prime. Okay, so such that, okay, so such that we can have uh, EB, no? So that is equivalent to K prime multiplied by N. Okay, so but then it, okay, so this formula, no? So this one together with this one, so this will be used only when the flux, no, so it's constant. However, if they are, or the flux, no, is not stated as constant, like, so there is a change in the value of the armature, I know, not armature, but the field resistance. So the flux therefore is not constant anymore, no? Okay, so and also if we try to take a look at the given circuit, no, so if you remember the Kirchhoff's, no, so voltage law, so we could have, okay, so we can have, okay, so if we assign a loop here, okay, so this would be let's say loop X. So if we take KVL, no, so in this loop, okay, so we can arrive with the um, mathematical equation. Okay, so VL, okay, so that is minus, okay, so the voltage drop, okay, so that would be minus IARA. Okay, so this is the voltage drop. No? So remember from Ohm's law, so voltage is equal to I multiplied by R. Okay, so minus, so that would be the back EMF, so that is equivalent to 0. Okay, so we will be using these mathematical functions later on, okay, so to solve practical examples or practical problems involving shunt motors. So let's try to take a look at uh, okay, so we'll be using this mathematical or equation, no, form from taking KVL, no, so around loop X. So we will be using it later on to solve, no, so sample problems involving DC shunt motors. Okay, so again, we'll take a look at the following functions, no, for the shunt motor. First, the torque characteristic, this one. Okay, then the um, back EMF equation, no, so given by this one, and okay, so the relationship between the supply voltage and the back EMF, so given by this equation. So also we'll be using also this relationship, no, so with respect to the, okay, so with respect to the line current, armature current, and then the field current, of course, no. So before we'll proceed, no, to the next slide, so just remember that the field current, no, IF, okay, so the field current IF can be, okay, so it can be calculated, no, so using Ohm's law, okay, so that is the supply voltage divided by the uh, field resistance. Okay, so this one. So the supply voltage is the same, no, so as with the field winding voltage, and then that is also the same as with the armature voltage. Okay, so next topic would be the efficiency, no, so of shunt motor. Okay, so the term efficiency is defined as the performance, no, so that is the measure on how good, no, how good is the performance of your shunt motor. So that means uh, through the efficiency, no, so of the machine, so one can identify how much of the energy input, okay, so how much of the energy input is being converted into the output. Okay, so ideally the wanted, no, so the uh, what we call this one, the ideal efficiency, no, so it's supposed to be 100, no, so 100%, but since the machine, no, so constitutes the what we so called as energy loss, no, or power loss, then the output of every machine is actually lesser than the given input. Okay, so the term efficiency of the machine can be written, okay, so mathematically as the ratio, no, so that is the ratio of the power output, okay, so divided by the input power. Okay, so for the shunt motor, if you try to take a look at this machine, so the input is at the electrical side, no, so this one, okay, so this constitutes the input of the machine. Okay, so whereas we may say, no, so we may say that the input of the machine is equivalent to the supply voltage VL multiplied by the current IL. So it will have a unit in watts. And suppose the output of the machine, okay, so this one, if the torque is known, okay, and then the speed is also known, okay, so the power output of a DC motor is given by the equation 2 pi nt divided by 60, that is also in watts. Okay, so if these variables, no, so are not given, such as the torque and then the speed, then we can still calculate the efficiency, no, so of the machine by, okay, so we can simplify the term input, no? So the term input of any machine is equivalent to uh, the output, okay, plus the power loss. Okay, so the input is or the input, no, can be broken down as part of it the power output, and then part of it, okay, so would be the power losses, no, so of the machine. So this time we'll try to investigate as to what are the power losses, no, so in the given DC motor. Okay, so if you try to take a look at it, so we start with the input. Okay, so this would be the input, and then uh, okay, so you notice that in the armature, so we have here the armature resistance RA. Okay, and then you have there the field resistance RF. Okay, so meaning to say, part of the power, okay, so part of the power provided at the input will be consumed by the armature resistance. To take note, this elements dissipates energy. So this element dissipates power. Okay. So resistive elements will dissipate, no, so or will consume uh, energy. Okay. So therefore, the power taken by these resistive elements would be part of the what we so called as power losses, no. So we then say that the power loss in the armature, okay, so in the armature denoted by PA, okay, so that is equivalent to IA square RA. So this equation came from power is equal to I square R. So we term this one armature. Okay, so this would be armature loss. Also in the field winding, okay, so in this what is so called this one field, no, so the power, okay, so PFW, so this denotes as the power dissipated in the field winding, so we denote that one as IF square multiplied by RF, or that is equivalent to VL square divided by RF. Okay, so anyway, we know that IF is equal to VL over RF. So if we substitute that equation here, then we have VL square over RF. So we denote this one as the field winding loss. Okay, and also if you try to take a look at the armature, okay, so the armature, no, so the construction of the armature is made up of laminated steel. Okay, and since the armature rotates freely, so the ends of the shaft, no, so are being supported by mechanical support, and of course with the bearing, not to lessen the friction. Okay, so meaning to say the armature, aside from the armature or the electrical loss, so it will have the mechanical loss. Okay, so due to the friction. Okay, so we term this one as the constant loss. Okay, so we term this one as the friction loss. So power loss due to friction, this is the power loss. Okay, so sometimes we term this one as stray power loss, no? Stray. Okay, so sometimes we term this as the core loss, no? Okay, so Others or other books term this one as mechanical loss. Okay, so these are the three losses, no, so which constitutes, no, or okay, so these are the losses, no, so that constitutes, no, so in the uh, shunt motor, no, so and then this will be accounted when we uh, calculate, no, so the efficiency of the given. Okay, so this would be the power losses, no, so we didn't say, no, so we didn't say that the efficiency, no, so can be calculated by, so writing power output. Okay, so the input would be power output plus the power loss would be PA plus the field winding loss plus the mechanical losses. Okay, or it would be core loss or sometimes stray load loss, no, so, or friction losses, no. Sometimes we also, or there are other books, no, so which term this one as constant loss. Okay, so the mechanical loss. So these are the losses, no, so okay, so these losses, the mechanical loss. Okay, so these are the power loss, no, so in the DC machine that does not involve current. Okay, so all of which are purely in terms of mechanical. Okay, so you remember the expression, no, for the shunt motor efficiency. So you have there the output over the input, no, so input can be classified as power output plus power loss. Okay, so and power loss can be broken into, okay, so the armature loss, the field winding loss, and then the friction or the stray or the core loss or the mechanical uh, losses. Okay, so let's try to put all these equations, no, so in a sample problem. Okay, let's try to apply all of those equations, no, so we have derived. Okay, so in this example, okay, so you have there 5 horsepower, no, so 230 volt, 1200 rpm shunt motor. So it has an armature circuit resistance of 0.175 ohm. Okay, the shunt field resistance is 460 ohms, no. So the stray losses, no, so amounts to 305 watts. So we are then asked to calculate, no, so the efficiency, no, so of the machine. Okay, so first is it would be better, no, so to draw the original circuit of the given. Okay, so that is the, okay, shunt motor, no, so for the shunt motor, okay, so a shunt motor can be, okay, so if you recall, so it consists of the power source, okay, so the armature resistance, no, and of course the field winding resistance. Okay, so we denote this one to be RA, and then this would be RF, and as given, okay, so we can, perhaps we can put directly, no, so the values. Okay, so you have there 0.175 ohms, ohm, no? And then you have there 460. Okay, so the supply voltage, no, so it's given at 230. Okay, so you have there 230 volts, no, so as the supply voltage. Now you'll have to take note, no, so take note of this explanation. Okay, so first, when we are dealing with motors, so the given voltage, for example, this in this case, no, uh, that is 230 volts. So that refers to the supply voltage, no? And if given with the power, for example, a 5 horsepower uh, motor, then this means that the output, no? So the output of this machine is 5 horsepower, no? So the voltage given would be, okay, so this uh, okay, so the output of the motor is, assuming this would be the shaft, no? So the output of that motor is given by, uh, that is 5 HP. Okay, so recall 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. So we are asked to obtain, no? So the efficiency of this machine. Okay, so and recall, no? So the efficiency of the machine is given by the expression power output divided by the input, no? So now we have already the output, no? So but then we do not have the input, no? So but for the input, okay, so we can calculate, no? So we can calculate uh, only if we are given with, no? So the what we call this one, the line current, no? As you can see, we do not have the line current IL. So this would be IA, and then this would be the current IF. Okay, so for IF, we can calculate IF, IA. No, so we do not have any data, much more with the current IL. No, so how do we proceed? No, so perhaps we can say, no, so that the input, no, so the input is equivalent to the output plus the power loss. Okay, so such that it can be written further as the armature power loss plus the field winding loss plus the mechanical losses. No, so this constitutes the input power. Okay, so the output is given already. No, so such that the output is, okay, so that is 5 times 746 watts. Okay, so PA on the other hand is equal to uh, okay, PA is equivalent to IA, no? So this would be IA square multiplied by RA, so that is 0.175. Okay, so plus PFW, no? So that is equivalent to VL square over 460, no? So that is 230 square divided by 460, no? So plus the mechanical loss, no? So as given, okay, so the stray losses, no? So that is 305. Okay, so how do we calculate for the input, no? So actually we cannot calculate it yet, but we can write input as, okay, so that is 230, no? So multiplied by IL. Okay, so that is equal to 5 times 746, no? Okay, so plus IA square 0.175, okay, plus 230 square divided by 460, okay, plus 305. Okay, so only if we can calculate for IL, then we can, no? So we can solve for the input. But take note, no? So you'll have to remember that, okay, so the current IL is a function of the armature current and the field current. Okay, so right. So IL can be written as, okay, so we can write, no, so we can solve for IA. So that is IL minus IF is that's 230. Okay, so divided by 460. Now, so IF is VL divided by RF, no? Okay, so now if we substitute this expression here, okay, so then we can have, no, so we can have the expression as, no, so okay, so perhaps we can continue, no, so in this, okay, so okay, so you have there 230 IL, no, so that is equivalent to, okay, 5 times 746, no, so that is, okay, so let me have my okay, so calculator first, no? So 5 times 746 can be calculated as 3,730. Okay, so we can have 3,730. Okay, so plus that is, no, so IA square, so that is IL, no, and then minus 0.5. Okay, so this would be square, so multiplied by 0.175. Okay, so plus, okay, so you have there, okay, so 230, okay, okay, 230 square, okay, so divided by 460, no, so this would be 115 plus 305. Okay, so we can now, no, so we can now simplify. Okay, so this would be 230. Okay, so that is 3730. So the resulting expression would be a quadratic one. So that is IL square minus, no? So you have there, okay, IL minus 0.25. Okay, multiplied by 0.175. So plus 420. Okay, so we now can calculate for IL. No? So if you have your calculator with you, so you can calculate for IL. Okay, so Okay, so the expression would be, okay, so we have there the expression, no? So um, that's 230 IL. Okay, so that is equivalent to, okay, so let me have um, 3,000, no? So that's 3,730 plus, okay, so you have their IL square minus IL, okay, so minus 0.25, no? So, okay, so multiplied by 0.175, so plus, okay, so 420. Okay, so we then simplify. Okay, so this becomes uh, 230, no? So IL, so let's try to simplify first, no? So that would be plus 0.175. Okay, so that is equal to, okay, so 4,150. Okay, so plus 0.175 IL square. Okay, so minus 0.043. Okay, so furthermore, we can rewrite this one as 0. Okay, so minus 230. Okay, so plus, okay, so you have there 4,149.95. So this will equate to 0. So using the calculator, no, so we can calculate for the uh, value of IL. So you go to the quadratic equation mode, no, so do not use shift solve function. Okay, so you may end up with having a negative answer, no? So we can have, okay, so and then uh, go to 3. Okay, so we can have the, okay, so So we can input A, that's 0.175. B would be negative 230 point, okay, 175. C would be 4,149.96. So you'll be given with first, that's 1,297. Okay, then you will be also given with 18.3. So technically, both of these answer are correct. No? So since they are positive, no? So currents will always be positive. No? So uh, 18.28 versus 1,297. So the most reasonable. No? So that means the one that is what we call this one, practically correct is the smaller one, no? So which is the 18.28 ampere. Okay, so we select, no? So the 18.28 ampere. Okay, so 18.28 ampere instead of the 1297.01. Okay, so we need to, okay, so that's 18, no? So 18.28. Okay, so you have there the power or the efficiency, no? So the efficiency can be calculated so by dividing, no? So the power output, so which is 5 horsepower multiplied by 746, no? So divided by the input, that is 230 times 18 point, okay, so that's 18.28, no? So 18.28. So we multiply it with 100%, no? So the efficiency is given by, okay, okay, divided by, so we only have around 88, no? So 0.72%. Okay, so as the efficiency, no? So of the uh, given, no? So DC shunt motor. So that means only around 89%, no? So of the input is being or was converted, no? So into useful uh, power. So the rest, so they are being dissipated by the machine itself. Then we term that one as the unuseful or not useful, no, power, or the power losses. So next is, okay. So next example, okay, so in the next example, so we are still given with, no, so the shunt motor. Okay, so okay, so according to the problem, no, so a 250 volt, no, so DC shunt motor has an armature resistance of 0.025, okay, on load. That means when it is carrying a mechanical load. So on load, it takes an armature current of 50 ampere and runs at 750 RPM. Okay. Now, if the flux of the motor is reduced by 10%, no, so without changing the load torque, so again, no, take note, if the flux, no, of the motor is reduced by 10%, so meaning to say the flux now is not constant, no, so without changing the load torque, that means the mechanical load, no, so is still the same. So find the new speed of the motor. So in this example, we try to take a look at what will happen to a DC shunt motor if it is running with load, no, so but then we try to alter um, the magnetism, no, or the strength of the magnetism. Okay, so we begin with writing, no, so or drawing the equivalent circuit, no, so in both cases. Okay, so we then say case one. Okay, so we denote, no, so the magnetism is equal to this one, no, so okay, so we then write, no, so the circuit, no, so of the shunt motor. Okay, so the shunt motor would be, okay, so the supply voltage is 250 volts. Okay, so the armature resistance is 0. Okay, 025. So RF is not mentioned, no? So this would be RF1. Okay, so now according to the problem, in condition number one, the motor is uh, carrying a load torque T. Okay, so the speed of which, no, so the speed of which under this condition is 750 RPM. Okay, so whereas the strength of the magnetism, no, so the magnetism here is given to be flux. Okay, so for condition number two or case number two, no, so uh, we write it here, case two, no. So that's the same shunt motor, no, so as given. Okay, so the supply voltage is still 250 volts, no, so that's 0.025 ohm, no, and then this would be RF2. So why it is RF2? So we are pretty sure that they have different RF, no, so why? Because as you can see the in the problem, the flux, no, so has been altered. That means the current flowing in the field winding, no, so in both conditions are different. So the current, no, or the field winding current is affected by the change in RF. So that means uh, there is, no, so really an alteration in the part of the field resistance, no. So we denote this one, no, so we denote the flux around here, no, so this should be reduced by 10%. So this would be 0.9 flux, no. So that means 90% of the original flux so it's being emitted, no, so by the or produced by the field winding. Okay, so that's zero point 0.9 of the original flux. Okay, so In this case, no, so in this case, take note that the armature current here so would be IA2. Okay, so why IA2? Because the flux, no, so has been changed. Okay, so and then we denote in this part, so you have there the back EMF denoted by EB1, and then you also have there the back EMF denoted by EB2. Okay, so plus minus, and then that would be plus minus also. Okay, so in the first condition, so the armature current is 50 ampere, no? So that would be 50 ampere. Okay, so the question now is what would be the speed, no? So of the motor in condition number 2, no? So this is carrying the same load. However, the or since no the strength of the magnetism is changed, so the speed this time is unknown. Okay, so from example number, I mean from case number 1. Okay, so we can first we need to calculate, no, for the value of IA. Okay, so IA2, no, so out from IA2 we can calculate the value of the back EMF, no, so of the motor in case number 2, and then we can use, no, so the relationship between the back EMF and then the speed to calculate the new speed of the motor. Okay, so denoted, let's say we denote this one N2. Okay, so now as you can see, remember, okay, so we start with, no, so recall, torque in a shunt motor is a function of K, flux, and IA. Okay, so meaning to say, torque in condition number 1 is equal to K, flux, okay, so multiplied by IA, which is 50. Okay, in condition number 2 or case number 2, so we denote this one T2. Okay, that is K. So the flux is 0.9 of the original flux, and then the armature current to be denoted by IA2. So there is a statement, no, so in the problem, so that you have there without changing the load torque. That means these two torques are the same. Okay, so that means the mechanical load, no, so in the given motor was not changed. So we can equate the two expression, so that is K 0.9 flux multiplied by IA2, so that is equal to K flux multiplied by 50. So we can cancel out K together with the variable flux, okay, and then calculate for the new value, no, so of IA2. So you can have their IA2, so that is 50, no, so 50 divided by 0.9. Okay, so that is 50 divided by zero point 0.9, no, so that is 55.56 ampere. Okay, and then if we try to calculate for EB1, okay, so next is to calculate the value of EB1, no, so the back EMF in case number 1. So we use the given expression, no, so VL minus IARA, so minus EB, so that is equal to 0. So basically we can calculate EB1, that is the supply voltage 250, So minus IARA. No? So IA is 50 multiplied by 0.025. Okay, so we can then calculate EB1 as, okay, so that would be, okay, so that's 248, no? 75. Next is to calculate for EB2, no? So why do we need to calculate the back EMF, no? So it is for the only expression, no, in the so far in shunt motors that contains, or the back EMF is the only expression in the DC motor that relates the speed, no, so, of the motor. So therefore, in order for us to calculate for the speed, then we need to have the value of the back EMF. No? So EB2, so using this expression, okay, so that is 250. So minus, no? So the new current is 55.56, no? So multiplied by 0.025. So EB2, that is equal to, okay, so that's 250. Okay, so let's calculate now. So 250 minus 55. Okay, so the answer is 248.61. So as you can see, it's almost the same, but there is actually an effect, no? So to the shunt motor due to the slight change, no, in the back EMF. No? So let's try to find out. No? So what is that effect? Okay, so you recall, okay, so if you try to recall the back EMF, no, so of shunt motor is given by, okay, the expression K flux and then multiplied by N. Okay, so meaning to say we can have, okay, so we can have EB1, okay, that is K, so multiplied by the flux, okay, which is this one, and multiplied by the speed, no? So that is 750. Okay, so for EB2, so we can have EB2, okay, so that is using this expression, that is K, flux is 0.9 of the original flux, no? So this would be the value of the flux in case 2, and then the speed, no? So shall we say N2. So dividing the two expression, okay, so EB1 divided by EB2. So you have there 248, no? Divided by 248.61, that is equal to, okay, K flux multiplied by 750. The other one is K, zero point 0.9 of the flux, and then multiplied by N2. So in this case, we can cancel out K and flux, no? Cancel out K, cancel out this one. So which will give us the new speed, no? So N2 would be equal to, okay, so calculating for N2, okay, so 248.61 so divided by, so you have there 832.9 RPM. So this would be the new speed, no, so of the motor when the flux, no, so is being reduced. So this conforms with the initial topic, no, so the characteristic of a shunt motor. So as discussed, no, from our previous discussion, so that the shunt motor, no, so when the flux is reduced, the speed will increase. So that is the purpose of having RF, no, so or the field resistance, no, in the shunt motor. So for us to vary the flux, so first is to vary the current, no, so and then once the current is varied, the flux, no, so will also vary. Okay, so this is for the shunt motor. Okay, so the next topic so will involve the computational um, or computations involving the series motor.